Hello everyone, this is Exalted Cheese. Welcome to Tabletop Thursday, a part of my channel where I will discuss various tabletop RPG topics. Today's topic will be Character Showcase, where I will discuss an old character of mine. And in the background, we're going to have some footage of me fishing in Stardew Valley, just so things don't get too boring. This was actually the first D&D character I ever made. He was made using the D&D 3rd edition rules. He was an elven wizard who also happened to be a prince, because, you know, I was 10, and I thought that sounded cool. This was also the first time I had ever heard of D&D. My mom's friend invited her to his weekend game, and after playing, my mom thought I would enjoy it. And she was right. I thought D&D sounded awesome. So, she invited her friend to come over and help me make a character. It would still be a few years before I actually learned the rules and had a copy of my own books. And I should mention, I wasn't actually going to play in her friend's game. I was like 10, they were like my age now, 24, 25 I think. My mom just wanted to introduce me to D&D, because she thought I'd like it. The character's name was Elfnarado. I think I was inspired by the movie Road to El Dorado. I hadn't actually seen the movie at the time, or I still haven't seen it actually, but I knew it was about gold, somehow. I knew I wanted my character to have long golden hair, and somehow made the connection between the movie and the color gold. So I stole the movie's name, and I threw the word elf on it because he was an elf. You know, the creativity of a 10-year-old. Elfnarado used a combination of dual-wielded swords and magical spells to fight his enemies, because that's practical. He also had a horse, just a regular horse. It wasn't magic, sentient, or bonded with him from birth or anything special. It was just a horse. But apparently 10-year-old me thought that was ridiculously awesome. As I said, I didn't really know the rules of the game at the time, so I kinda just made stuff up. My mom's friend was very lenient with whatever I thought of. I think he was just excited to see someone enjoy one of his favorite hobbies. I didn't really know that magical items were a thing. Like, I kinda knew they were a thing, but I didn't know how common they were. But I wanted Elfnarado to use 2 flaming swords. I don't think they did any extra damage, they were just on fire. So I kinda just made flaming swords for him. I didn't really know the rules for it. I think I was more excited about the idea of cooking food with them than actually dealing more damage. Elfnarado was also a friend to whole animals and could talk to them due to elf training or something. I actually forget why, but I know that he could. He could do it naturally too, and he didn't really require a spell to do it. Along with not knowing anything about magical items, I thought the alchemy skill would let me brew potions, and I maxed it out as much as I could. I don't recall any other skills that I put on him, but I can only assume they were all really high-ranking skills. I also remember that his attributes were all really high. Like, I don't think any of them were below 16. I think intelligence and strength were 18, because I thought strength was important for sword fighting, even though dexterity is more important. But whatever. I never actually got to play this character, which is probably for the best. I can't imagine Elfnarado would have been an effective character. The feat investment in 2-weapon fighting would be tough for a wizard. He probably had terrible spells too. I remember my Pokemon teams with attack moves in every slot. If I were to do things differently, I would probably just not make the character. He seems like a Mary Sue, and more of an interesting concept than a playable character. If I had to remake him, I would probably make him a sorcerer/fighter, and he would end up as some sort of Gish. If I was going to keep the whole prince thing, then I would probably make him a banished or exiled prince, as I find that more interesting. I prefer to flesh out my characters with gameplay, like during the game, rather than writing just a bunch of backstory and never acting upon it. Unfortunately, I lost this character sheet years ago. I don't exactly remember when, but I didn't really think it was special until lately. All in all, I like the memory of this character, as it was my first. I really got to stretch my imagination in a semi-structured environment for the first time, and I find that to be really fun. It was also my first step on the path to getting into tabletop RPGs, which is one of my biggest hobbies. Maybe I'll remake him next time I actually get to play in a game. Well, that wraps it up for today. This has been Exalted Cheese. I hope you've enjoyed my first character showcase.